the janitor who became a CEO. When Michael Turner was 18 years old, he believed his future was already decided. He lived in a small apartment with his mother and younger sister. His father had left when he was a child, and money was always a problem. After finishing high school, Michael wanted to go to college, but his family could not afford it. Instead, he took a job as a janitor in a large office building in the city. Every evening, while office workers went home, Michael cleaned floors, emptied trash bins, and washed windows. It was honest work, but he often felt invisible. People walked past him every day without saying hello. Some did not even look at him. One evening, while cleaning an office on the 20th floor, Michael noticed a book lying on a desk. It was a business book about leadership and success. Curious, he opened it and began reading a few pages. The ideas fascinated him. Before leaving, he carefully placed the book back where he had found it. The next night, he read a few more pages. Soon, reading became part of his routine. Every evening after finishing his work, he spent a few minutes reading books left in the offices. He learned about business, communication, leadership, and personal development. One night, an executive named Mr. Reynolds walked into his office unexpectedly and found Michael reading. Michael immediately stood up, embarrassed. "I'm sorry," he said. "I was just looking at the book." Mr. Reynolds smiled. "No need to apologize. Which chapter are you reading?" Michael explained what he had learned. To his surprise, Mr. Reynolds seemed impressed. They talked for nearly 20 minutes. Before leaving, Mr. Reynolds said something Michael would never forget. "Never stop learning. Education doesn't only happen in classrooms." From that day forward, Michael became even more determined. He began borrowing books from the library. He listened to free business podcasts while working. He watched educational videos during lunch breaks. Although he did not have a college degree, he treated every day as an opportunity to learn. Years passed. Michael remained a janitor, but his knowledge continued growing. One evening, he noticed a problem in the building. The cleaning staff often wasted time because schedules were poorly organized. Michael spent several weeks studying the issue. Then he created a simple plan to improve efficiency. Nervously, he shared his idea with his supervisor. To his surprise, the supervisor liked it and decided to test it. The new system worked well. Cleaning became faster, and costs decreased. Soon, company managers heard about Michael's idea. They invited him to meetings and asked for additional suggestions. For the first time, people saw him as more than a janitor. They saw someone with valuable ideas. Eventually, Michael was offered a position as an office coordinator. The promotion doubled his salary. Some people would have been satisfied, but Michael continued learning. Every evening he studied business and management. He saved money and attended night classes whenever possible. The journey was difficult. There were times when he worked all day and studied late into the night. He often felt exhausted. Yet he remembered his dream of building a better future for his family. Over the next several years, Michael earned more promotions. He became a manager, then a department director. Each new position brought greater responsibilities and challenges. Sometimes he made mistakes. Sometimes projects failed. But instead of giving up, he learned from every experience. One day, the company faced serious financial problems. Sales were falling, and many employees feared losing their jobs. Executives spent months searching for solutions. During a meeting, Michael proposed a bold strategy that focused on improving customer service and reducing unnecessary expenses. Some leaders doubted his plan, but others believed in it. After careful discussion, the company decided to try his approach. The results were remarkable. Customer satisfaction increased. Profits slowly recovered. The business became stronger than before. Michael's reputation grew throughout the company. People admired his intelligence, work ethic, and ability to solve problems. Several years later, the company's CEO announced his retirement. The board of directors began searching for a replacement. They interviewed experienced executives from across the country. To Michael's surprise, his name was included on the list. He could hardly believe it. The young man who had once cleaned office floors was now being considered for the highest position in the company. After months of interviews and discussions, the board made its decision. Michael Turner was chosen as the new CEO. The announcement made headlines. Many employees celebrated because they knew his story. On his first day as CEO, Michael stood in front of hundreds of workers. Some were executives. Others worked in maintenance, security, or cleaning. Michael looked around the room and smiled. "Years ago," he began, "I stood in this building holding a mop and a bucket. Many people thought that job defined my future. But I learned something important. Your current position does not determine your final destination." The room became silent. Everyone listened carefully. "Success is not about where you start," Michael continued. "It is about how willing you are to learn, grow, and continue moving forward when life becomes difficult." His words inspired many people. Employees who had once felt overlooked began believing in themselves again. Michael never forgot where he came from. Even after becoming CEO, he treated everyone with respect. He greeted janitors, receptionists, and security guards by name. He understood that every person mattered. Years later, a young employee asked Michael what the secret to his success was. Michael smiled and gave the same answer he had repeated for years. Never stop learning, never stop improving, and never let other people decide what you are capable of becoming. The employee nodded thoughtfully. Michael looked out the window of his office. Far below, he could see people entering the building. Some were starting their first jobs. Some were chasing big dreams. He hoped they would remember the lesson that had changed his own life. Success rarely happens overnight. It is built through small actions repeated day after day. It grows through learning, persistence, and courage. Most importantly, it belongs to people who refuse to let their current circumstances limit their future. The janitor who once felt invisible had become a leader, not because he was lucky, but because he chose to keep learning when others stopped. And that choice changed everything.